Most people think that using Notion for their personal note-taking and journaling is a game changer, but what I've actually seen from my experience is implementing it at our company has changed the company forever. In my last video, I showed you exactly how to implement Notion at a company. I went through the 5 steps of how to go about implementing and the mistakes to avoid. But now I'm actually going to be showing you our full Notion workflow, because I feel like a lot of people gatekeep this type of information, but this is something I've worked over 2 full years, and we've continuously built this from scratch up till the point that you'll be seeing in this video today. So definitely watch the video. If you find value, like and comment down below in terms of the way you use Notion at your company. So as you can see on the screen right here, actually, I used Notion to script this YouTube video itself. Start off with the basics of having a company wiki on Notion. Our company's name is Pioneer Immigration, and we have Pioneer Wiki being made. Basically, in the Pioneer Wiki, we have all information about the company, whether it's regarding our mission and values, whether it's different HR policies, and anything that's related, so that all of our employees have one place where they can find all information about how they can be using best practices at the company, how they can make sure that they're successful. For example, let me show you what I made is the 30 minutes recipe for success. 30 minutes recipe for success, there's about 3 steps to it, and they can follow this for 30 minutes as soon as they start their shift, and they know exactly what to do and succeed at the company. Now moving on, of course this is the basic. This is kind of where it's more of the note-taking and tracking of certain information. But the way we use it for our HR is we actually have it for our applicant tracker. Let me show you exactly what that looks like. For our applicant tracker, we basically take in every single lead that our HR team gets, whether it's through email or any sorts of any kind, and we add them to the lead column here in the applicant tracker database. And as that lead progresses, of course, we have a very nice complicated template as well. I'm going to be going very briefly over every single system that I'm going to show you here, but I'm going to make step-by-step tutorials on one of our company's other YouTube channel, which I'll link down in the description once those videos are made. So definitely stay tuned for that. So as you can see, I have a nice template made where we can add the applicant's picture, we can have some of their speed details, any discussions that we have with them, the interview notes, any other checklists that we might need to have as well. So all of this is just make sure that everything is streamlined, everything is in one place, and whenever we create a lead card, a lead profile, all that information can be tracked inside that page. And once that lead progresses through the different hiring stages, we can just move them over, and they will actually go into the different steps, which is amazing, because this allows for us to know exactly where the different applicants are, whether they're in the lead stage, the contacted stage, not responding, interested, interview stage, hired, or onboarded. So we can actually see that we've onboarded 43 people since we've implemented this at the company, which is just incredible to see. But as you can see, we can actually take the individual profile, and as they progress through the different stages, we can actually move them. For example, if somebody is scheduled for an interview and we have given them an offer, we can just move them down, and now they're in the offer stage, which is just incredible for us to organize and see exactly where which individuals are in which stage. Now moving on, let me show you how we are managing all of our content generation. That's in our online marketing team space. I've separated the team spaces for the different teams so that they only have access to their designated information. I've seen other business owners that kind of have everything in one team space. I feel like that just doesn't allow for enough privacy and security in a business, and we really value that. So with that being said, the online marketing is a different space than the offline marketing. Now in the online marketing, we have what's known as the infinite content engine, and this is ultimately like a powerhouse. And it's in a very similar format as that applicant tracker I showed you, but instead for content generation. So for example, we have any ideas, we throw them in here. I'm just going to reset this view, and whenever we have any idea, we put it in here. We make sure that all the ideas are tracked well. There's no ideas that is just lost in verbal communication. I have really trained the team well to make sure all of the ideas are added here as soon as possible. So a card is generated for that, and we ultimately, this thing has a template as well, as you can see here what the template looks like. It has when the scheduled shooting date is, it has when the actual posting date is supposed to be, who is the person that's going to be in front of the camera, who is the person that's going to be behind the camera actually creating the video. So this is all the different things that we noticed for our team needs to be tracked. And then finally, this has a lot of that page details as well regarding shoot information, the equipment needed, the research and notes, the script for the video itself, any title ideas we have for that. And finally, this one same database can be used in multiple ways. For example, I mentioned earlier, we have a shoot date and we have the representative of who the video will be of. So with this being said, I've actually added different master views for the certain individuals so they can see exactly what their shoot schedule is. This month, there's not much shooting planned for our CEO, but we can see in the past that whenever there were any recordings necessary for him, that's in a calendar view right here. And if he just needed to look at this view only without needing to look at all of the back-end complicated stuff that we were kind of making sure that we are using efficiently, then he can just use this view, which is just beautiful. Moving on, I will show you what our tech database looks like. I think I will save our actual software related databases near the end because that's the most complicated and the most recent adventure that we are exploring on Notion. But for the tech database, we are tracking all of the devices that are worth tracking in the company. This is a lot of devices. That is why this is actually taking a little bit of time to load. You have to keep in mind that, hey, Notion isn't perfect. It might be slow at times. So what we have done is add every single device, and we've explored this new property on Notion, what's known as the ID property. Basically, any new entry that's added to this database, it gets given a unique ID. So this way we can make sure that rather than talking about an item's name, we can just refer to it as that number. And we have that number now printed and taped onto all of our devices. So we know exactly what device that is, and we have the pictures inside of these items. I won't go through all of them, of course. We've complemented this database with a device allocation database in case any device is now allocated to somebody new, so that we can keep track of who it was previously allocated to. We've also basically done is add employee inventory. So we've linked the devices with each employee at our company. This way we know exactly what types of devices they have. So let's say in case that we are offboarding any employee, we know exactly what types of devices to get on board from them. Now moving on to the final thing, which I'm the most excited about, is actually building an in-house software on Notion. We've got different software being built at our company, but I figured that for better data management, until that is implemented, we can just build the same thing onto Notion without the use case of being able to communicate with external parties. Because as I mentioned earlier, it's not very convenient for everybody in an external organization to be able to use your Notion ways of organizing information. Being an immigration consulting business, we have a lot of business partners that we also help and guide them for their clients. So with that being said, we've actually added all of the associates here. We've added their key individuals in the associate staff. We've added the clients that we are helping them out with, and all those clients are added in here, and their preferred city, their agency that they're from, their information, all of that is being tracked here. So we can make sure that all clients are being tracked in terms of what stage they're in, what our agency's requirements are, what our business associates' requirements are, and guide them accordingly. So this is really beautiful. I've even made a section at the top for a lot of these different pages where the important documents are there, so that in case a person is working only on Notion, they can know where to find those Google Docs without having to go specifically to Google Drive and find. None of this would be possible without all the other people in the company helping me out with Notion. So if you are trying to implement Notion at your company, do not try to do this all on your own. It's going to be way too difficult. Definitely get outside help. It's worth it because you will save so much time on this. We were very lucky to be able to build this in-house. I've worked very hard. Most likely all of these things are going to be sold as templates to save other people the hassle of trying to build this from scratch. So if any of this is interest to you, definitely comment down below. We also make some custom templates for people as well, just because we've reached that point of trial and error to see what works and what doesn't. And ultimately, this is how we are running Notion at our family company. And it's been a journey, it's been a process, but if the right people are willing to get on board, if they have the right organization skills, if this is the right need for your company, because that's ultimately what you have to keep in mind, this is a really, really great solution. Keep those 5 tips in mind that I mentioned earlier. The reason I mentioned that earlier before showing our workspace is because that cannot be neglected. That is very, very important to keep in mind. And if you have any other questions, comment them down below. I'm always happy to help people out with their Notion issues. It's something I'm very passionate about, something I've worked very hard and I have a lot of experience in. I'm actually currently working towards getting my full Notion consulting certification as well, which I'm very, very excited to earn and be able to help more individuals that are watching this video. Because if you watched till the end, you are probably clearly very interested in Notion and you are curious as to how we are operating it. I'm very big on transparency and showing exactly how we're doing things, just because I know that would have been very helpful if somebody had shown that to me. There's a lot of hard work that went into creating these templates and actually showcasing this through this video. So a like helps a lot, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Leave a like, and if you have any questions, definitely comment down below.